Good morning, everybody. Pastor Stitch, Narrow Path Christian Church, BC, Bay City, Michigan. Welcome to the Biker Devotional. Today is June 20th, 2025. It's the first day of summer, guys. Yay. And it will act like it, I'm sure. But, I am so blessed to be able to be here today. If you watched yesterday, you saw that I had a disturbance within me. I was struggling hard with something. I was struggling with the idea that I didn't understand or agree with what I thought I understood. And I was in distress. But I knew that the answer must come from God and that I had to get it resolved. And so I spent my day pressing in and asking God for direction and seeking guidance and asking for others to pray for me. I am glad to report to you that all is well today. God worked things out with me. In Proverbs chapter 20, verse 3, it says this: "It is honorable for a man to resolve a dispute. It is honorable for a man to walk away from a dispute, but a fool can get himself into a quarrel." And see, here's where my struggle was yesterday. I was running all of my scenarios of the what ifs. And this is going to be the bad things that are going to happen. And so I need to be ahead of that and fix it. And this, that, and the other is a problem. And why don't the other person see that this can be a problem? I was struggling. And I spent time praying, and I shared some things with my wife, and she answered me back with a very dismaying answer in the fact that she told me I was wrong. And she couldn't see where my anxiety and animosity was coming from. And that broke my heart even more, because now the area where I was struggling and the great friendship and brotherhood that I had, that I felt like I was going to lose, I now felt like I was going to lose my wife over it too. How could I be that wrong? But I kept praying and asking the Holy Spirit to show me what was wrong in my heart, help me to resolve all of it, and if it meant walking away from something, let me walk away in all the right ways so that I didn't lose my wife, I didn't lose my friendship, all I lost was the moment. That I would be able to walk away knowing that everything was okay in life and that I was going to be able to continue on in God's will. Well, good news, I didn't have to walk away from anything. Because that's the way God works things out, and I am grateful for that. But this verse says, "It is honorable for a man to resolve a dispute or leave the contest." So what I did is I left the contest. I stopped arguing it in my head. I reached out to someone and I said, "All right, I don't want to argue. I just need to hear your heart so that I can make the right decisions for me." And we talked it through. And I asked all the right questions this time instead of arguing all the things. I didn't need to argue. I just need to ask some questions and hear the truth. And when it came down to it, we were on the same page. I was just hearing an answer and seeing a problem that wasn't a problem. And I wasn't trusting the Lord or the person that was giving the guidance and direction that God had put in that position to make that they were hearing from God. But I trusted God enough to know that He was going to give me proper insight. And a sense of peace overwhelmed me in that conversation. And I know my dear friend that I was having that conversation with felt like he had to defend himself because he'd been doing it so much with so many other people. I wasn't the only one pushing back. And finally I said, you've answered my questions and you've given me the resolve that I needed. And I don't need you to defend yourself because we're okay. And finally it came down to the fact that what I was worried about, he had already addressed. He just answered it in a way I didn't expect. In a way I wouldn't have ever gotten to on my own, but through the Holy Spirit. It was the right answer. It is honorable for a man to resolve a dispute. It is honorable for a man to walk away from the argument. And for me, that meant walking away from it in my head, which is the hardest place to walk away from it from. Solomon says any fool can get himself caught into a quarrel. I was trapped by my own arguments. And when I finally walked away from the argument and walked into the resolution, walked away from the argument and the people that I was arguing with, all of them right here in my head. And if you're not watching, you're just listening. I touched the temple of my head and I said, nope, not me today. And in the end, God provided the answer that I needed. And I have a sense of peace and even more resolve today as I move forward. It's honorable. It is honorable to walk away, to leave the contest, leave the dispute. I needed to do that. How about you? Get out there today. Recognize what's happening in the world. There's a lot of bad stuff. And it's going to keep happening, guys, because we live in a broken world. And we can't expect a non-Christian world to act like Christians. We're not arguing with that. We got to stop arguing with it in our heads. Walk away from that dispute. Because if you don't, you are a fool caught in a quarrel. And it has nothing to do with anyone else. You're not angry with them. You're arguing with yourself. Trust the Lord today. Trust those He's put in position to lead you. I love you all. Hope you have a great day. God bless.